There are 3 things you absolutely must be doing if you're an SMSF investor. Today in this video, we're going to go over those 3 things and how to do them really quickly and easily to make sure you're on top of everything when it comes to your SMSF. Welcome back to the channel. My name's Navexa. If you're new here, I'm the founder of the Navexa Portfolio Tracker, and I've had the privilege of talking to hundreds, if not thousands, of Australian investors, many of whom have SMSFs, and have been able to see the key things that they do to make sure everything goes smoothly when it comes to things like performance, when it comes to tax, and when it comes to reporting. So for the first must-do task for SMSF investors, it's tracking everything in one place. That means bringing everything together, all the different brokerage accounts that you use. And that's super important because if you're doing, say, ASX investing in one brokerage account, you're doing US investing in a different brokerage account, maybe you're even investing in Europe or other exchanges in a different brokerage. It is super important to bring all that into one place, because if you lose visibility over something, sometimes something even as just an annoying login process to a brokerage means you don't check it that often. And if you're not checking it, you don't know what's going on. So it's really important for performance tracking to make sure that your SMSF is actually growing. But the other important factor is the record keeping. And as you'll know, if you've been doing an SMSF for any amount of time, the record keeping becomes super critical. And we'll get to that in the next 2 points. So the solution to this is using a tool like Navexa that I've built that allows you to import your different brokerage accounts into the one place. Now, the Peter Drucker quote is always playing in my mind, and that's what gets measured gets managed. So if you can easily measure the performance of your portfolio, it means you can manage it to make sure that it's doing what you expect and hopefully going up and to the right. So here in Navexa, I'm going to show you a portfolio with crypto and stocks from various different brokerage sources. So you can see here we're sorting by broker. And you can see we've got a couple of crypto holdings from Binance, got a couple of ASX holdings in ComSec, a couple of US holdings in Interactive Brokers, and then a couple of ETFs from an Australian broker called Perla. So you can see all of this sits in the same portfolio, and it allows you to see the different subtotals per broker, but you also see the total across everything. And if we come up to the top, you get the perfect breakdown of capital gains, income return, currency return, and total return, all annualized as well to factor in time across all 4 of those different brokerage sources. It allows you to do performance tracking like benchmarking against this ASX 200 ETF to see how all of your different accounts are performing as one. The second must-do thing for SMSF investors is tax reporting. Now, as we all know, living in Australia, it is a legal obligation for you to file your taxes every single year, whether you're a personal entity, whether you have a company, a trust, or an SMSF, you've got to file a tax return. So with your SMSF, it's obviously super important to be filing a tax return. And not only that, is how are you calculating that tax return? How are you producing that tax return? Because there's different CGT strategies, link above, things like LIFO, FIFO, minimize gain, maximize gain. Which strategy are you using and how are you keeping track of these things? This is again where a tool like Navexa becomes critical. So this is the tax overview here in Navexa that you can check any time during the year to get a snapshot of what your current capital gain liability is. So in this case, we're looking at the 23-24 financial year, and the total capital gain is $19,000-ish. Underneath, you can see total income. So that's how much dividend income or crypto income you've earned over the year, which gives you a good sense of what you're going to be looking at come tax time. Now, from here, you can drill down into the capital gains tax report, and you can see it has recorded all the different trades here and the CGT strategy that we've used for each one, showing you how much you sold, what the cost base was, what the sale value was, and what the ultimate gain or loss was on those particular trades. Now you can go to tax settings and quickly change from first in, first out, or FIFO, to say minimize gain, hit update report, and it instantly recalculated everything to minimize gain. And for the hawk eyes among you, you will have noticed this dropped from 19 down to 13,000. So that's the impact changing CGT strategies can have. The other big report here is the taxable income report. So up the top, you've got all the totals and the tax codes that line up with the ATO tax codes. Underneath that is the full breakdown of all the dividends and distributions that you get throughout that financial year. So you can come through, check all the different columns are correct, check all that the distributions looking okay to you. You can also enter in your final year AMIT statements for ETFs, which allows you to record all those cost-based adjustments and little component tax returns that you get with those. And things like foreign income, cash interest, and crypto income is recorded here as well. So the third must-do activity for SMSF investors is preparing your annual account. Now this can vary depending on how much you have in your SMSF and different conditions, but everyone's got to do it at some point. So here in Navexa, you can run the historical cost report, which is like an inventory report. And you can see here for the last financial year, all the different stocks and crypto that's in your portfolio. You can see what the allocation method was that we used to calculate it. Things like the opening balance, if there were any purchases made in that financial year, if there were any sales or the cost of sales in that financial year, any capital adjustments that occurred from things like the AMIT statements and ETFs. You can see what the closing balance is and closing market value as well. Final column gives you what the final quantity is that you have. So running this report is really quick and easy to help prepare the annual reports for your SMSF. This is always here. You can run it for any particular year that you want. So if you get audited in the future on a previous financial year, you can go back and run that report super easy. So those are the three must-do activities for SMSF investors here in Australia. So of course you can do all that manually. You can leave all your brokers disconnected. You can manually calculate your capital gains tax. You can maintain a spreadsheet for your annual accounts. But a lot of that is prone to human error. It's time consuming and just generally a pain in the ass. So use a tool like Navexa. We have a 14-day free trial for you to check out all those features and streamline your entire SMSF management process. So please check out the next video.